Broadcasting from the Ante Up studio, it's the longest running poker podcast for the everyday poker player with your host, Joe Scales.
Hello, A-Team, and welcome back to another episode of the Ante Up Poker Podcast, where every hand is an opportunity, every player is a friend, and every episode is a winning experience. I'm your host, Joe Scales, and before we dive into the normal episode, I just want to start by wishing all of you a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're able to spend the day surrounded by family and friends, and if you're a football fan and your team played yesterday, I hope they brought you a W. If they didn't play yesterday or they didn't win yesterday, then I hope DraftKings at least came through for you. Speaking of DraftKings, though, as we wrap up 2025 and we're negotiating new deals for 2026, I want to take a moment to thank the incredible sponsors that jumped in at the start of the year and helped us grow throughout the year. The first on that list has to be Maker's Mark, right? They were our first long-term sponsor and one we've had an absolute blast partnering with. They've been with us from the jump, and so we really appreciate them. DraftKings, thank you as well. Let's be honest. I know that you came on board because of Patrick more than me, because you know the man may still be a fish on the felt, but he crushes enough on DraftKings to cover his questionable calls at the poker table. So it all works out. Huge thanks to Magic Mind. They haven't been with us every week, but when they came in, it was always with a great promotion for our listeners, and we love giving you guys bonuses. So same with HelloFresh and Factor Meals. You kind of pop in when there's something new to offer, and we appreciate being able to bring those to the A-Team. So thank you for that. And thank you to Octopi Poker, who always keeps the creative ideas flowing. Working with them has been a blast, and we've got some fun things cooking for the future there as well. We also appreciate all the companies we work with through affiliate partnerships, Clubs Poker, Comfort Clothing, and Advanced Poker Training. Thank you all for trusting us to rep your brands. I don't have a whole lot before we actually kick off the show. Whether you've been with us for years or you just stumbled onto the YouTube channel and decided to stick around, thank you. We appreciate you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to check out our monthly magazine at anteupmagazine.com. That's all I have for now, so let's get on with the show.
Find out what conversations are happening around the poker table with Table Talk.
Elle and I are back around the poker table.
And I am in festive tornado mode.
Tornado mode and festive mode. I have not seen these two together, I don't think. Maybe I have.
I think you have. I just may have not put it in those terms. I jokingly tell Joe when I'm getting like wound up and running through the house and changing decorations, and he's from Kansas. I'm in tornado mode. You know what a tornado is, and you know what to do. Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Just get out of the way.
Find cover.
Correct.
Yeah, you are obviously in festive mode because for those that cannot see her, she is wearing a shirt with a golden retriever with a Santa hat and lights strewn over the dog.
Yeah, they're happy. I'm happy. We're all happy. I hope you're happy.
I am happy.
Okay. Yeah. Last week we left and said we were going to head to a comedian. That kicked off the holiday week.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned if you haven't checked out Derek's troupe, be sure to do so, whether it's on YouTube or it's in a venue near you. Yeah. The Funny Bone in Richmond, Virginia was a great spot.
It really was. Easy, like so easy to just get in, get your seat. People are happy. The drinks keep coming. Like you have a number and a QR code and a waiter or a waitress, and there's a whole team of them that work together. You don't even know they're there.
Right.
I mean, they've got it down to a science. But it was just easy, comfortable venue, and he was a riot. And because it's a smaller venue, it's not like these event spaces that you go to that's like a hockey rink or a theater or, I mean, you fit, what did we find out? 400 people in there?
I think
and
that
you
was
didn't
right.
feel like you're in there with 400 people. It was a soundproof box.
Yeah.
Like we were at a mall and
It's
had
true.
no idea we were at a mall.
Literally, we're at a mall.
Yeah. And had no idea. And he said something that I just can't get out of my brain.
What?
Which is, he's like, does anybody even really know who I am or why you're here?
That's true.
And I was like, well, of course we do. And he's like, because this form of art, people will show up to and they have absolutely no idea what they're getting into.
It's true.
And I had never thought of it that
There are
way.
some that you go specifically to see that person, but there are times when you're like, let's just go see some comedy.
Yeah. Overall, really glad we did that. It was a lot right after coming back from Vegas to get in the car and travel again, but we made a weekend out of it, had fun, and then come back.
Jumped right into the weird work week.
Yeah, that ends in pie.
True.
I had never heard that saying until this week. One of my coworkers put in their little team chat, like, it's a 2-day work week that ends in pie. How could you not be happy? Right. I hope everyone listening has had an enjoyable holiday. Sometimes this is a difficult time of year for people, but we just wanted to send some gratitude out into the world. For those of you that listen, thank you for listening. For those of you that have found us on YouTube, we are grateful for you tuning in and watching this on YouTube. But I also have found something that's been really helpful for me lately.
Is this the one where you sent me the videos of the animals, the dogs?
Yes. Yes.
What is it called?
It's called the Official Dog Pack. Okay. And the Official Dog Pack is literally Goldie, the golden retriever, and Frenchie, the black French bulldog. They're podcasters.
They are.
They are. It's AI. I don't know if it's just AI graphics or if it's AI voices. It truly sounds like people are recording this and then creating the AI from it. I don't know. But listen, it's light, it's funny, but sometimes they cut to like the heart of the matter. They are podcasts. They are dogs podcasting their perspective of the world.
Right.
And it is fascinating and heartbreaking and hilarious. And it's just really kept my perspective accountable. And so sometimes this time of year can be really hard. Sometimes it can be really fun. Sometimes there can be unexpected things that come up. And this has just been my little bright spot. So this is not a paid for ad by any means whatsoever. If you need to pick me up or feel good, Official Dog Pack.
There you go. I do think that it's just two people talking and then they put the AI graphics on there. And the reason I say that is because the tool that I edit with, I can actually make us into babies or giraffes or gorillas or whatever.
And now I'm curious. I'm curious.
Maybe we should create a short one and put it out on something, socials or Discord.
Don't promise me something I can't deliver, because that would be really fun.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
All right, we'll try that. Maybe not with this particular episode, but
okay. Okay, I'm down for that.
Today is officially Black Friday,
which started last month.
Sure.
Or something. Yeah. I mean, I'm so over it.
It's not really as special. You're right.
No, our daughter loves this day.
Yeah.
Loves this day. Has already been out, shop till the drop. Their gym has childcare, and they did a Black Friday special where you could drop your kids off and not be at the gym.
Yeah.
You could just be shopping and drop your kid off. And I thought that was fan-freaking-tastic, number one. And two, she and her husband just had a ball.
Yeah, they did.
Shopping today. And which we're getting ready to shop some this weekend, if you don't already know. Because Black Friday is continuing until Monday.
But they have Cyber Monday. We can just stay at home and shop from the convenience of our couch.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
I'm just saying we're shopping. But we'd be remiss, honestly, if we didn't mention the top 4 that grabbed our attention, because we get inundated just like you guys do with text, emails, what you name it.
Yeah.
The blasts that go out. Club WPT Gold and Poker Go have stuff happening today. You've probably already seen it. Yeah, today only. Lexi Gavin Mather has 50% off of her Poker Accelerator, which is awesome. And I've actually been curious about it too. So thinking, I don't know. We got to think between today and Monday if I'm going to do it. But it's 50% off. And then I think you told me about a sneak peek.
Yeah. So Octopi Poker, it's not available yet. This is just if you go to their website, you're not going to see it. But December, I almost said October.
Yeah.
December 1st through the
15th.
Yeah. They're going to have 20% off
Everything.
Yeah. So get on there, use our code Ante Up, and check out what they have.
Yeah, I think they also have another code that you can add to, and we'll have to check and make sure they stack. But long story short, that's the best one I've seen. It's not a Black Friday or Cyber Monday. It does start on Cyber Monday, though, but it goes for 2 weeks, which is pretty cool.
That is nice. And then, we've got, like you said, we've got Christmas, but before that is your mom's birthday. Before that's your birthday. And then in January, they've got this casino opening up here in Virginia.
Oh, the Live.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, another choice. We still have to drive, but another choice for us to have in our repertoire here.
Yeah. They open up January 22nd, 2026. Their temporary location because they've got to build this.
They're
place.
Building. So it's just like Caesars did.
Yeah.
They'll be operating out of tents and trailers and all the things. They still make it feel like you're in a casino, though.
It does. It's going to be 75,000 square feet just for the gaming area.
That's a lot of sound machines.
Yeah, 900 plus slot machines making noise.
Wow. And now, of course, casinos are always bringing jobs. So they've mentioned 500, at least 500 jobs, 100 dealer positions just for the temporary facility.
Right.
So if you're near that and you're looking for a job opportunity, check them out. But the full resort's going to be huge.
They're like 400, right? Almost 500,000 square feet, 445,000.
And are they going to have hotel and restaurants and all that?
Yeah, 200 room hotel, cool. 1,600 slot machines. So a lot. But they're
poker room. Let's talk poker.
They're going to have 22 poker tables.
That's a nice size.
Yeah, it's a good size.
That's a really nice size.
A sports book, 20 dining areas. So
we really enjoyed Maryland Live, the way it was set up. I actually really liked it. Was a different feel to the movement.
That's not in Baltimore, by the way.
Oh.
Thanks, Just Cards.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Maryland Live.
Yes.
Is what I will say. So we're looking forward to being able to go up there, hopefully by February.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Check it out.
I mean, it's going to draw a lot of people to the region, I think.
I hope so.
With more casinos in the area like that, I think it's really starting to be a hub.
Well, and there's some good, healthy competition.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that helps everybody step up their game a little bit.
Right.
So definitely looking forward to that. There's a lot of poker coming up. A lot of poker coming up. Triton Series is teaming up with WSOP Paradise.
That's right.
So that starts in like 5 days, I think. They kick off their event December 4th through December 11th. They're going to be at the Atlantis in the Bahamas, which we did not make it to. We could see it from the beach that we were parked on last October. But the Atlantis resorts are amazing. I've been to the one in Dubai. I actually used to just go there and hang out on the weekends because they had a really nice beach and their food was really good. And they had a Chihuly sculpture.
Did they now?
They did, right in the middle. It's still there. But that Triton Series is coming up. Formula One is over.
They're done.
They were done. They were 3 days in and out. So they're out. They were out November 22nd.
Hopefully they got all that stuff torn down quickly and opened up those roads. And
I think it's like a phase in, phase out, right? But hopefully it'll be for the WPT. I hope it's going to be better for you guys because we really felt the effects of that during our tournament. So I hope, Prime
WPT starts when? December?
It's around the same time. I think it's December 7th. Their Prime Championship is on the 7th. World Championship and Ladies Championship start on the 13th, and they wrap everything up on the 19th.
Right.
So check it out if you're around and about. And I cannot say enough about the Women in Poker Festival going to Resorts World. We'll talk to Lupe about that a little bit while we were in Vegas, December 8th through 12th. They're having Crazy Pineapple. They're having some No Limit Hold'em. There's a jingle something. Check it out, ladies. You get to deck out in all your festive gear and hang
Would
out
that
and
count?
play poker. This is not enough if I'm really going to go all out. Listen, if I'm going to show up to a ladies event, I'm not just going with this. We're going to step up our
all
game.
out. Got it.
That's like go elf yourself. Like get all get your elf hat and your tights and the whole nine. I would definitely be doing that. So.
Well, I would say, there's always the two types of people. There's the ones that are probably already done shopping. We talked about that a little bit at Thanksgiving. Actually, there were
the Amazon Prime sale.
Some people were already done shopping.
Yes,
and then there's those that are more last minute, like myself, that like that pressure. Got to get it done kind of thing.
Well, you said something very informative on Thanksgiving Day that I think you should share, because this also is very, very similar to how men handle shopping for the holidays as well. Well, I asked you to go to the store because I forgot to get iced tea to take to dinner. And I get this message. On Thanksgiving Day, before things closed, we got up in the morning and I was like, oh, I forgot to get the tea.
I walked into the grocery store and there was not a woman shopping in that entire store. It was just a bunch of men that looked lost. And they were all on the phone talking to their wife going, what aisle? I don't know. What's next?
Somebody even asked you where to find the dip. And you're like, well, what kind of dip?
He was like, do you know what a dip is? And I said, what kind of dip are you looking for? And he just shows me the list, and it's the hell of a good or something like that.
Which Dean's is much better. But anyways, poor man. Didn't even know where to go.
He's no clue. And I was like, okay, let's walk down here. But
I'm going to give that guy the benefit of the doubt. He could have been visiting, and this is a new grocery store. I am going to give
We don't know all the details for sure.
But I said, what did I say back to you? It's officially Thanksgiving Day. If all the men are at the store getting the last minute things that they've never heard of, but they all like to eat. Yep, that would be Thanksgiving Day. So anyhow, we're extremely grateful for all of you tuning in. We're looking forward to getting festive with you, continuing our Christmas shopping this weekend. And the release of our Amazon storefront is going to be next week. So look for that in the show description next week.
So hopefully you're not done with all of your Christmas shopping and you can find some things on there.
Well, it's going to be specifically for poker players.
Exactly.
So if you haven't found some things, you're still looking for ideas to give to your friends and family, you could just share the list with them and say, this item or that item or whatever. And we're going to put out the things that we use every day, tried and true stuff, like the mat that that neoprene mat that we travel with. We take it anywhere. We take it to cabins to play with our family. We've taken it on cruises. We've taken it everywhere. And you immediately have a poker table anywhere you are. So,
and it's so nice. It really is. Yeah. Actually, that felt on there is nicer than a lot of poker tables.
I agree. So anyhow, we want to share the wealth. We wanted to get that done a week or two ago and just didn't happen. So wanted to follow up and say that it's coming.
It's coming.
It is
coming to a screen near you.
As always, Joe, it's a pleasure being around the poker table with you.
Likewise.
Now it's time for Call the Floor with Elliott Schechter.
Elliott Schechter joins us each week to say how he would rule in situations that come up in your games. And he's with us again this week. Elliott, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well, thanks. Things are good. How you doing today, Joe?
I'm good. I notice you're sporting the Ante Up wear there.
Absolutely.
So I like it.
Thank you. Me too.
And if anyone wants some Ante Up gear, then go to our shop on anteupmagazine.com. So there you go. There's the plug.
Glad to hear.
Yeah, we've got a call the floor this week that's sent in by David Musselwhite. And the setup is pretty long. So if you have some points in here that you want to throw in along the way, just interrupt and we'll throw them in there as we go. But David is playing 1-3, no limit hold'em. He's 8-handed. Made it to the river, heads up. The players in seat 1 and seat 8 are heads up in the hand. Now The player in seat 8 is wearing earbuds in both of his ears. The river brought in the flush draw and it paired the board. Seat 1 bets, seat 8 raises, seat 1 tanks, then tells the dealer 100 on top. He doesn't say whether he put more chips in there if he just said it, but
Right.
I'm assuming he put something in there. And now it's back on seat 8, who takes out his earbuds, asks the dealer what's going on. The dealer tells him that seat 1 has raised it another 100. Seat 8 then puts his earbuds back in and tanks for a bit. Eventually, he mumbles something. I'm in seat 3 and didn't hear what he said. The dealer announces fold, but seat 8 just kind of sits there holding his cards, and the dealer motions for him to muck his hand. Seat 8 finally flips his hand over and tables it, showing the ace-high flush. The dealer then picks up seat 8's hand, mucks it, and then begins pushing the pot to seat 1.
All right, before you say another word, the dealer motioning to the player in seat 8 could be signifying to the player in seat 8 that the action is over. It's your turn to show. What do you want to do? It's up to you.
Right.
I can see that happening.
For sure.
So the pot getting pushed here doesn't make a whole lot of sense just yet, especially after seat 8 tabled his hand.
Right. And it makes sense from here why there's the confusion.
Yeah.
Because he says, here's where the drama starts. Seat 1 and seat 2 both look surprised.
And this is where the floor
Seat
needs to be
1
called,
says
as the pot hasn't been fully pushed yet.
Yes. Seat 1 says to seat 2, I can't believe that he folded the nut flush. Meanwhile, seat 8 asks the dealer what seat 1 had. The dealer says he didn't show. And of course, seat 8 asks, well, then why are you giving him the pot? The dealer says, you folded, he doesn't have to show. To which seat 8 yells, I didn't fold, I called, and you took my hand and mucked it. The dealer says, I heard you say fold. Seat 8 argues, no, I said call. And that's when the dealer calls the floor.
Better late than never.
The floor comes over. Well, yeah. The floor comes over and the dealer explains the situation, tries to get one of the players at the table to say they also heard seat 8 say fold. The player in seat 4 says he heard seat 8 call.
Of course.
Me in seat 3. So seat 3 and the player in seat 5 both say we didn't hear him. Seat 2 said he thought seat 8 folded because he never made a calling motion.
I don't know what a calling
Not sure what
motion
that is. The floor decides that this was above his pay grade and went to get a more senior floor.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. The second floor goes to the camera and comes back a couple of minutes later. He says seat 8 was the aggressor, and since he tabled his hand, it's clear he was wanting to call, so he wins the pot. Now,
Okay.
seat 1 is upset.
Sure.
He says his face has turned red, and he's shouting, but the dealer said he folded.
Okay.
Now,
what, the dealer's not allowed to make mistakes ever? The dealer's infallible? What the dealer says goes? That
right.
doesn't make sense to me at all either.
Right. And seat 1 apparently admitted at some point to having a flush,
Well,
so
he
he
very
would have
likely had
lost.
the losing hand.
Yeah. So he says at this point there's a crowd starting to gather, including seat 1's girlfriend, who is putting in her 2 cents, even though she is not even, she wasn't even near the
Assistance
table
from the
when
rail.
the
I
hand
love
went
it.
down. C2 suggests that they just chop the pot to be fair.
This is not C2's business.
Right. Now a third floor comes over, and lets the second floor leave because he's getting pretty heated
Sounds like a
at
really
this
big
point
room.
with seat 1. Yeah, they've got numerous floors for sure working this. The third floor decides to chop the pot.
Okay.
I love that reaction. Both seat 1 and seat 8 rack up their chips and leave in a huff. Seat 8 tells the dealer, "I blame you. This is your fault," which the dealer graciously accepts blame.
It's not 100% his fault.
Right.
Not even close.
So David says my personal thoughts are that clearly seat 1 had the losing hand, since his whole argument was that the dealer said seat 8 folds.
That is correct.
Action not let him win a pot he had no right to.
Well, I think by action, he means other people's actions or mistakes.
Right. I
Mainly the
also feel
dealers.
that seat 8 putting his headphones back in while on the river in a big spot was unwise.
Ah,
I would think you would want to hear everything.
yes. Now we're getting to one of the running themes on Call the Floor is protect your hand and pay attention and don't do stupid stuff while you're in the
Right.
hand. So seat 8 is
Right.
guilty of a number of these things.
Exactly. He does say chopping the pot felt wrong, but I understand just wanting to calm everything down. But at the same time, that rewards seat 1 for making a scene.
Well, not just that.
Can't wait to hear. Yeah, it's true. He says, can't wait to hear your thoughts on the matter. So
Well, this is a long post, so I'll have a few thoughts. I'll work my way backwards. Chopping the pot can only be a suggestion on the part of the operator, the floor, the person making the decision. That money doesn't belong to the casino in any way. That money belongs to the players. We can suggest chopping to the pot, but when we make a decision, we have to make a definitive decision. We have to actually decide. We can't just punt all the time. This is not a court of law. This is a hand of poker, and we have to do something. We have to actually decide. Yeah, chopping the pot here is maybe not the worst suggestion, but we can't just dictate and demand that the pot be chopped. We're not in the game. We merely collect payment for the providing of the game. Big difference. So while we're relied upon for expertise and fairness, we can't make a decision that literally divides up people's money. That's the opposite of what we should do.
yeah.
So then we have to go back a little bit further and to the result. Let's go to the end of the hand when seed 8 didn't know what was happening and very correctly removed their headphones and asked, "Well done." It then occurs to this player to immediately replace their earbuds and go on as if everything's hunky dory, when that's not a great assumption. uh,
Apparently not.
I'm not a big fan of rewarding people for not paying attention and not protecting themselves, but apparently C1 didn't really have much of a claim on this pot. Seed 8 obviously thought they were intelligible when they were not. Obviously thought that their stopping and asking what was going on was enough to protect themselves when they really only made it halfway across the road. They pressed the button to activate the crosswalk. They got into the crosswalk, and then when it started blinking red, instead of hurrying up to the other side, they decided to just wait. So not particularly effective there. And I don't like rewarding players for not paying attention. But more than that, I like the best hand at the showdown to get the money.
Right.
There's no definitive proof that this player decided to fold to that raise, even though with the board pairing, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Although in a 1-3 game, it's certainly incredibly uncommon at best. I'm not awarding seat 1 the pot based on the technicality of the dealer announcing fold and taking seat 8's cards, while seat 8 was obviously incredulous and rather shocked. The dealer's unable to discern what was happening should have been the time to stop the game and say, "What are you doing?" If they thought they were folding and then they started pushing the pot, seat 8 immediately spoke up and said, "What are you doing?" That's the time to call the floor right there, not to wait a few seconds or a few minutes or however moments it took to actually get to that point.
Yeah.
These are some of the worst judgment calls we've got to make as floors, as operators, as poker room managers. They're never easy. And again, it's what we're paid to do. We've got to make a judgment call. The judgment is just not to have no action. If we let every dealer error decide the outcome of a pot, well, then number one, players would obviously not be thrilled knowing that they were not in control of their destiny when that's exactly what you play poker for. But number two, and I had this discussion with one of my colleagues just recently about a similar but not identical situation in which a dealer error would lead to either no action or splitting of a pot. And I made the point, which he didn't refute, that if we allow ourselves to base our outcomes on a dealer mistake, so say we actually misdeal and giving the money back, which is virtually identical to splitting the pot, then it occurs to me that a lot of dealers, and I'm not trying to disparage my colleagues and dealers in the industry, but as dealers keep their own tips and they're definitely motivated by generating income in every possible moment they're dealing, it would occur to me that dealers would make mistakes in pots where the only players who are going to win are players that do not tip them, therefore negating the outcome, putting the money back, and starting a new hand where they have a much better probability of getting a tip. That opportunity should not be allowed, should not be possible, and should
Right.
not be affected and made real by our decisions.
I guess the thing that bothers me with seat 8 is, and this is probably what the person was saying about calling action. Throw a chip in, like call, throw a chip in, and then you obviously were making your intention clear.
Well, and
I mean, you might have wanted to raise, but you definitely are putting money in.
seat 8 is under the impression that they said call clearly enough that they didn't need to move a chip, which is not 100% correct in any spot. You should always move some or all chips forward when calling a bet. Verbal action in turn is binding, but when it's unverifiable, you're in a whole mess of of things, and
Yeah.
many things like this can happen. So yes, seat 8 did not fully protect their hand, did not fully protect their place in the betting order, was not paying attention, and obviously did not make their intentions clear. So yeah, seat 8 shoulders some blame here. That doesn't
Yeah, for
mean
sure.
that they lose their claim on the pot.
Right.
We don't have to allow technicalities. Once again, this is not a court of law. This is poker. And when all is said and done, when the action is over, the best hand's still supposed to get the money. Now, if there's a bet and no call, which seat 1 is trying to prove, then yeah, well, all is said and done. We're not entirely clear on that here. And if this continues to happen every single time seat 8 is in the pot, the seat 8 is going to lose both the benefit of the doubt and likely the ability to play in the game. But in this instance, I'm not moving the pot away from seat 8. It's still, while not an outcome that thoroughly agrees with my views on player behavior and player comportment, is still the best possible outcome in these circumstances.
Yeah. We've talked about that numerous times where we want the person that actually had the best hand to get the pot. It
Yes.
sounds like seat 1 admitted at some point that he had a flush, which means if you had the flush, you had a lesser flush because he had the nut flush. A seat 8 did. So, you know, the if he wouldn't have admitted that he had a flush there, then we don't know,
Well,
because
and I'm not
we're in
so
a
sure about
situation
that.
where
I'll leave that to the other contributors who actually delve into the playing and contents of hands to weigh in on that. But even without knowing the contents of that particular hand, it still seems fairly obvious from the narrative that they were trying to use the rules of the game to win the pot, as opposed to, the betting and showing of hands to win the pot, which is not the way the game is
right.
supposed to come. to the players.
Yeah, I
Unless
don't
there's
think that
no
that
other
is
way to
ever.
make a ruling, I'm not going to use the technical rules to award chips.
I don't think that's ever going to be a good argument to get the pot. But at the same time, if there's a situation where you just don't know what seat one has because you handed your cards off as the dealer was pushing the pot to you, well, now it's like, well, my cards are somewhere in that deck, and
Right.
now you can't just say, well, dig my cards out, because obviously that's not going to be acceptable either. So
Shouldn't be.
it's a mess. The whole thing is a mess, and everybody contributed.
Yep. Everybody
Seat
played a
1
part here.
contributed, seat 8 contributed, and the dealer.
Yes, quite. It was shared, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then to make matters worse, the floor, they had 3 people come over, and none of them seemed to take control for sure.
Well, a second
It's
floor
kinda
guy
one of
tried to
those
make the
situations.
decision, but once they appealed and he granted the appeal, we were in trouble. Seat 1 punted. I mean, floor 1 punted. Floor 1 said, I got no
Yeah,
way to solve this. I'm getting somebody else. See, the second floor guy
which
made
is
a
fair.
decision, and at some point they didn't accept it, and he brought a third guy. It's like uh, most rule sets uh, expressly state that the floor person's decision is final and binding. This is not a court of law where there are one or more appeals available if the result is not liked or desired. They made a decision. They absolutely made a
Yeah,
decision, and they didn't just pull it out of a hat. They went to surveillance and
yeah,
watched the footage of the hand. They relied on not only player statements and the dealer statement and whatever the first floor observed, but they went to surveillance for confirmation and mulled this over. It should have ended
yeah,
there. I appreciate the fact that if an egregious error is made, you want to appeal, and sometimes you have to. You have to jump up and down. You have to make sure that nothing happens until somebody makes a fair ruling. Uh, how do you prove that the second guy, the second floor, who absolutely made a ruling after checking surveillance, how do you know that was unfair? They weighed as much evidence as possible and made a final ruling. It should have been final right there.
right.
I mean, if it's egregiously incorrect and the whole table is just about unanimous in disliking the decision and disagreeing with it, that's one thing. But here, we had players next to each other, seats 3 and 4, who couldn't even agree on what the hell was going on. The floor stepped in to
Yeah,
make the decision, as is their job. At some point, you got to accept it. And at some point, as the floor, and now I'm speaking to my colleagues, you got to put your foot down and say, this decision's been made. If you need to discuss this further, let's get off the table and have a discussion. But we're done.
yeah, and I like what to kinda bring it full circle, I like what you were saying at the your very first point. You, as the floor, cannot actually chop the pot. You can suggest that that is what we do, but in this kind of a situation, you have to make a definitive decision. So that, I feel like, chopping the pot thing was kind of a cop out to some degree,
It's
to
exactly what
try
it
and
was.
appease everyone.
And you can't.
And by appeasing and by trying to appease everyone, you appeased no one. You
They
made
both got
everyone
up.
angry.
You lost.
Yeah,
You lost 1/4 of the game. You literally lost 25% of your seated players because of this decision. Not to mention the amount of hands you lost not
yeah,
dealing because you were waiting to make this decision. So yeah,
yeah,
chopping the pot here didn't help you. Again, if you move the pot in one direction or the other, you're losing very likely one player or the other, which is one entire player less than the amount of players you lost. It is 50% less players you lost, and 50% less players dissatisfied, and hopefully coming back. So yeah, again, you got to make a decision. You got to stick to it. You got to explain it. You got to be fair about it. That doesn't mean you can't offer number one a chance for them to be heard, and And number two, other forms of remuneration. I mean, whether you come them to a dinner or a hotel room or something, some way to show appreciation. But yeah, you got to make a decision, and you got to sometimes hang on for dear life.
Yeah. Well, David, when you sent this in, you said here was a big one, and you're right. This was a big one. There was a lot of blame to be handed out in this one, and
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like we ended up with the right answer either,
I'm
which
not
is
so sure. Yeah.
unfortunate. So,
We did have an Oprah level
um,
distribution of blame. You get some blame, and you get some blame, and you get some blame. Yeah, it
yeah,
was pretty impressive.
yeah. But I appreciate you sending that in. And if anyone has a call to the floor that they would like to know how Elliott would rule, send
Please
it to
do.
podcast@anteupmagazine.com. Elliott, thanks again for the insight.
You're welcome. This was a good one.
And
Thanks.
yeah, and we'll see you next week.
Looking forward to it.
Let's break it down with Hand of the Week.
Welcome to Hand of the Week, where Patrick, our resident fish, and I dive into listener-submitted hands. Each week, we tackle everything from questionable bluffs to hero calls and the hands that make you scratch your head. Whether you're looking for strategy tips or you just want to see if you would have played it any better, we've got you covered. Patrick, it's Thanksgiving week.
It is here, my friend. Holiday season's here. It's getting cold again. Football is great.
Yeah, well,
For
football-
some of us in the AFC, it's really good again. Although we may have just lost the best, one of the best offensive tackles in all of football, in Will Campbell.
Yeah, well, we are actually recording this way earlier than normal because, we have Thursday for Thanksgiving. Friday we'll be actually getting the podcast out, and you never know what schedule is going to look like there. Are you planning on shopping Black Friday?
Absolutely not. If there is anything that wants to be done on the internet for, what do they call it, Cyber Monday?
Yeah.
I think I have an itinerary for Thursday through Monday, and the only thing that I set of the itinerary myself is actually cooking. We're hosting family for Thanksgiving, so I'm in
Okay.
charge of the itinerary. But the shopping itinerary that I have been told is from my wife and family, and I am not involved in any of that. I just am on kid duty, which is A-okay by me. So there will be no shopping on Black Friday for me. Never has, never will. I think everyone that does that, I commend you, but that's just not my jam. Cyber Monday's great. Throw some deals in, catch some Christmas presents, but give me football. And there's some great matchups. I mean, listen, if there's anybody in the greater Michigan area that's a Detroit fan, I want to, listen, I applaud you guys for being fans for years, because I remember as a kid growing up, it was bad. It was like, hey, there's another football game on, but they were, they'd put up 7 points and they lose every single year. And now it's great. I mean, what a matchup that's coming this Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, there were some years in there with Barry Sanders that
Correct.
they had their time.
Yeah.
They weren't great, but they were good, and Megatron and
I was just going to say, I'm not trying to age you by any means, Joe, but Barry Sanders was like right as I was, coming into this world.
So we've got a hand sent in.
But Megatron, you're speaking my language. That was definitely my my area. Yes, there is true that they've had some years, but it's a lot of fun now. So yeah, a lot of family, a lot of food, a lot of football. It's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna go one step further, aging myself. I got to play catch with Barry Sanders when he was at Oklahoma State.
Wow, I like that.
So
That might have
so
been one of the
I'll
last
really
times
age
that they were
myself
really
even
good
further.
too. Prior to Gundy was when Barry Sanders was there for Oklahoma State.
Barry Sanders was there, and Thurman Thomas was there right before him.
Listen, this
So-
is not a hockey, baseball, football podcast, but we like to throw sports around.
Yeah.
College football, very quick. All hail everyone in Blacksburg to bring in James Franklin. For all you Penn State alumni, I feel for you. Good luck trying to find a coach. I understand he couldn't beat Ohio State and Oregon, but guess what? he can win some football games in the ACC, and I can't wait for next year. It's going to be freaking awesome.
TBD.
TBD.
In the meantime, let's get into some poker.
Sounds good to me.
We have a hand of the week that's sent in by Mark Brown.
All right.
And Mark says, this hand had him questioning every poker book written since 2004.
Oh, what a great entrance that is. All right, Mark. Cannot wait.
He says, here's the scenario. He's playing a tournament.
Come.
Blinds are 1,000, 2,000 with a 2,000 big blind ante. Mark says he has about 53,000 in his stack. And he's on the button in this hand with the 9 of clubs, 9 of diamonds. Action folds to middle position. And Mark describes the middle position player as a competent, but definitely capable of spewing chips when tilted. So we'll see if that comes into play.
Joe, would you consider me competent? Because the second part, I can definitely spew some chips when tilted. I'd like to consider myself at this point decently competent. So, okay.
And so are you saying you think Mark might be playing against you?
I mean, I wasn't playing a
When's the last time you
1,000,
played some
2,000
blind poker?
tournament, but definitely sounds very, very like me. So, you know what? Maybe with some inside knowledge, because it is me, I can help win this. We'll see. Okay.
Fair enough. Well, this middle position competent yet capable of spewing middle position player opens to 4,500.
Okay.
And it folds to us on the button with those pocket nines, 9 of clubs, 9 of diamonds.
Okay. Now, Mark didn't say anything about him already being on tilt, correct?
Correct. He did not say that.
Well, if we're not taking him on any kind of tilt at this point from middle position with that, I mean, that's a decent, it's not a big raise, but it's, hey, I've got something, we're going to pay to play. I mean, nines are great. You're on the button. I'm coming over the top, I think.
Okay.
And I'm probably just going to double them up. I've got, 9,000 in my head.
Okay.
You're going higher, aren't you?
I was going a lot higher.
Like double me?
Like 18. Yeah.
Yep.
18,000.
Okay. Why?
I don't know that 9,000 accomplishes anything because you're doubling his bet. He's going to call.
He's going to, for sure.
So are we getting any information from him? Whereas if we make it 18, we kind of can narrow that range down a little bit.
Fair.
If he bet 4,500 with Jack 10 offsuit, then maybe 18,000 he thinks twice about it. So
yeah, you're absolutely right.
Mark says with about 26 big blinds, I wasn't sure what the best play is. A jam feels too big. Calling invites players to squeeze. And a general 3-bet invites all the chips to get into the middle. I kind of hated every option, but ended up going with a small 3-bet, making it 11,000. So just a little bit over you.
Yeah, but he's right mindset wise. I mean, it is, if you go any higher, you're probably committing yourself no matter what. If you're going too low, then you don't like it either. It's kind of a weird. You're in a weird spot there. I'll give Mark that. So he goes 11.
Yeah, and the blinds fold.
Okay, well, that's
middle position thinks, then calls.
You can't get that to play any better out. A little bit of pot control, everyone else folds. You don't learn a ton, but
11's not a bad bet though.
Yeah.
Puts the pot in about 27,000. The flop comes out the queen of spades, 7 of clubs, 4 of hearts. Mark says, not great, not terrible, and the middle position player checks.
Pot control as well. I think I check.
Go ahead.
The only other thought would, yes, you were the aggressor. We talk about it all the time. Keep being that guy.
Continue your story, right?
Yeah. And I guess I'm putting myself in his shoes real quick as middle position. I come in with a pretty, it's an okay size bet, 4,500. Then the button comes over top of me. I'm going to check here and learn where he's at. So in that case, maybe we should continue to tell the story that we're ahead.
Yeah, I think that we can definitely represent ace queen, king queen, queen jack.
Yep.
We also could represent all of those pairs. Even jacks as pairs, even though the queen's out there. It's literally one card, one overcard to our nines.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely firing a continuation bet, probably come down a little bit in the 8 to 10 range.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
maybe call it in the middle and say 9,000.
Yeah, I had in that 7 to 10 range as well. Higher or lower, or everywhere you wanted to go. So, all right.
Mark says, I wasn't sure if betting small was good or if I should pot control and check. I bet 6,500, basically a third, kind of because I didn't know what else to do.
I love it.
Well, maybe the middle position player kind of got a read on you and felt that because he check raises to 18,000. Now things get a little uncomfortable. We've got 35,000 behind, I think. So what do we do with that?
Before you even go anywhere, if you go higher there, closer to 10, do you think you catch a check raise? I mean, maybe only time will tell to see how the rest of this plays out, but I don't know. That's interesting.
I mean, possibly. I don't think they're doing that with sets. Not yet.
No, because they want to get more value out of it, right?
Yeah, maybe they're the ones with a good queen.
Yeah. Ace queen suited, maybe. King queen suited, queen jack suited. All right. I mean, only one overcard. I think I'm calling another street.
Yeah.
Very reluctantly, if you can't tell by my tone.
I don't know. I mean, I think I can let it go here too.
We
don't really have a lot of equity that we need here. Pocket nines are still just looking for another 9 if they have a queen. I mean, if they have a 7, then okay, but are they check raising us with a 7?
Only to get us to run away now, and if so, then good for you. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I still may be calling one more street and then letting it go. We'll see how it goes, but
yeah, I
that'll
think I'm
put us
gonna
about
save
half
the
our stack.
35-ish. I'm gonna save that 35-ish K and try to run it up later.
Okay.
We still have some fold equity that way in later hands. So I'll let it go. You're gonna make the call.
Yep.
Mark says, I felt like folding was too nitty. I think this is the second time in like 2 weeks that my decision has been called nitty.
I think you said it, not me.
He says, but calling leaves me in no man's land. Exactly. And jamming feels like a spew unless he's bluffing. After tanking, Mark calls and says this is likely the biggest debatable decision of the hand. Okay.
Okay.
Pot is now 63,000. Mark's only got 24K behind, which is what? Since he was doing it in big blinds, that's 12 big blinds. And the turn is the 2 of diamonds. Now, middle position checks, which is really odd.
Check. Go give me a free turn or free river. I'm on. If you bet here, I can tell. We read this as we go, so we don't know what's going to happen next. But if Mark decides to bet, I guarantee middle position shoves. Give me a free street. What story are you telling now? You bet small, well, not small, but a third, smaller, and you got raised. You're going to get raised again.
And what if we shove?
think you're donating. Well, I think you're donating chips that you don't need to donate yet.
When middle position check raises the flop and then checks the turn when, we don't
So what are they
really have a
chasing?
ton left.
What do they got?
It's
A
almost
7?
never a monster.
What are they? Ace 7 suited? Like what are they?
I feel like it's a give up because they're scared. It could be queen small card, like it may be queen 10, I guess. I think our best play here, only way we win this hand is to shove here. Oh, I think we pick up the pot some percentage of the time. If we check here, it allows them to play the river perfectly, because if they miss the river, they check, maybe we win small, or they hit the river and they shove and we have to fold or call all of our chips drawing dead, right?
Yeah.
So I think if we want to win this hand, the only way to do it is to shove here. If we're looking to if we're looking to save chips, we should have done that earlier.
Fair. I agree with you. I think you're here now. The only thought is I can see one more street for free. If it's a 9, I'm coming over the top if he bets, or I'm shoving either way, or I'm folding.
Fair
so
enough.
I get to see one more street and catch a 9 for free, which is a very low percentage as well. But it's probably the similar percentage that we take this hand down with a shove now.
And if you shove and a 9 comes, you still win the money.
That's a good point. That's a good call. Okay, so maybe that takes a few percentage points off the shove now to take it down.
Mark says, when he checked, now I had no idea what to make of it. Is he trapping? Is he giving up? Setting me up to jam into a monster? He says, I froze and ended up checking back. So there is still 63,000 in the pot. And the river is the 4 of clubs. So we've got the
Queen of spades, 7 of clubs, 4 of hearts, 2 of diamonds, 4 of clubs.
So we paired the board.
Paired the board.
Queen is still the only overcard. And now middle position rips it all in.
Yeah, you kind of figured
And he
it.
has it covered.
Fold. Just like I said, you fold it.
Yeah.
And I wasted some chips there to get to that point, but chasing down one of the 2 9s that are left.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be a fold. When middle position check raises the flop, checks the turn, and then jams the river on a paired board, it's going to be a strong value hand. I don't see a lot of bluffs here for sure. So, got to fold there. Mark writes, this felt so weird. Why is he check raising flop, shutting down on the turn with me short stack, then jamming the river? Nothing made sense. I convinced myself he had 5, 6 of hearts or something dumb.
I like that.
After thinking through the whole process, Mark calls. And the villain turns over the ace of spades, queen of diamonds for top pair, top kicker. Mark shows his 9s and is out. So Mark closes with, did I make multiple mistakes? Did villain butcher this hand too? It felt like a hand where neither one of us had a plan.
I would agree with the last statements and answer the question before it is yes, I think you guys both did, and me included. All right, knowing what we know now, Joe.
Yeah.
Top pair, top kicker, not a paired board at the time, and he checks the turn, and you shove. Do you catch a fold?
Probably not,
I
honestly.
don't think so either. I think it's a really low percentage. I think the two I think the two mistakes. One, I don't love the call at all on the river there. Nothing about that felt good. I'm
Right.
sure it didn't feel good for Mark in the moment either, else he wouldn't be writing us. But I think I think the bet after the flop, when he comes back, when he checked raise us, I think you fold when you would have. And I'm a
Yeah.
big enough man to admit you're right every once in a while, Joe, and you're right on this one. Those are your two mistakes, in my humble opinion. Fold it then. When he comes back over you on the top, fold it down. Good for you. And definitely, if you make it all the way to the river, don't call there.
Yeah. I will say, I guess the good news is that all of the mistakes made in this hand were not yours.
Valid. And that's the other part of that statement is that guy did not play well either.
I feel like, Mark, you played the whole hand like you were trying to avoid making the wrong move instead of leaning into the right move.
Man, does that feel very, very oddly familiar.
I would say pre-flop, you didn't seem to have a plan, which you kind of admitted. On the flop, calling was probably the worst of all of the options there. You know, if you're not calling, then, I mean, if you're not folding, then why are we just putting in a call?
Yeah.
You know, the fold is probably the best one, but if you're not folding, then maybe at least say I'm short anyway. Let's put it all in. Then on the turn, when our opponent was just giving up, it felt like, then, I mean, we could definitely put a bet in there. Although, to your point, I don't know that we get a fold, but if we're putting the money in on the river, we might as well put it in there and at least take the chance of them folding.
If you've even had the thought of committing the rest of this, your stack to this, do it then. At least make them think about it.
Yeah. So I think the biggest takeaway here is if you're gonna 3-bet at what did he say, 26 big blinds?
Yeah.
If you're gonna 3-bet there, you need to have a plan. If you aren't gonna have a plan, don't 3-bet.
Yeah.
I think that's the takeaway that I would have for this hand.
Easier said than done, Mark, but he's absolutely right. Yeah, going into it, especially when you're ready to rip that in, then have the plan afterwards.
Yeah, but thanks for sending that in. It is a good discussion when and leads us to that takeaway, that we all need a reminder of sometimes.
Yeah.
We all need to make sure that we're thinking further ahead than just one street. What's our plan throughout the hand? If they do this, then what are we going to do? If they do that, what's our response? So
it's like situational baseball.
That's right.
For all your baseball fans out there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but thanks for sending that in. If anyone has a hand of the week that they would like to know how Patrick and I would break it down, send it to podcast@anteupmagazine.com. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And Patrick, let's do it again next week.
Sounds like a plan. I'll be here.
It's time for Joe's One Outer.
This week, I want to talk about what I'm thankful for in poker. And I don't mean just the obvious stuff, though I am thankful for winning hands and dealers who actually enforce the rules and opponents who don't suddenly find Jesus on the river when I'm sitting on the turn with the nuts. What I'm talking about is a little bit deeper than that. I'm thankful for the people because poker gets tagged as this individual lone wolf kind of game. But somehow, it's given me another family. From the A-team, to the players I meet at every tour stop, to the characters who sit down at my table and give me stories that generally end up on this podcast. You're all the reason this thing has legs. Sometimes those legs are a little shaky, but they're still moving. And I'm thankful for the conversations. The ones at the table where complete strangers turn into old buddies debating whether a hot dog is a sandwich or what the worst slow roll in history was, or how in the world someone can call 3 streets with bottom pair and still sleep peacefully at night. And I'm thankful for the lessons poker teaches, the ones you don't realize you're learning until life hits you with the same situation. Patience, emotional control, knowing when to fold something you really want to play, knowing how to go all in, and maybe the most important to me is learning how to look calm while absolutely melting down inside. It really is a useful skill. I'm thankful for the stories poker gives us. Stories from the old timers who have seen it all, the new players trying to figure it out, and the crushers who make us sit back and say, yep, I'm definitely not as good as I thought I was. It's a game built on characters, and I'm grateful every day that I get to share those stories with all of you. Which brings me back full circle here to I'm thankful for what poker gave me these past few years. Experiences. From the cruise to the championships to the conversations with champions, grinders, dream chasers, and everyday players who just love this ridiculous, beautiful game. Poker has given me a community, a career, friendships I didn't expect, and a whole lot of memories I wouldn't trade for anything. So as I wrap up another episode, I just want to say thank you to poker, to the people who play it, and to the A-team that show up every week to be a part of this thing. Because at the end of the day, as I've said before, poker is more than cards, chips, and bad decisions disguised as hero calls. It's a reminder that luck changes, life changes, but the table's always there, waiting for the next hand. That's today's One Outer, and that's today's show. I'll see you next week, A-Team. And until then, I'll see you at the tables.
The Ante Up Podcast is a production of AnteUpMagazine.com. Contact the show at podcasts@AnteUpMagazine.com or call the show at 540-339-7741. If you'd like to advertise, send an email to editor@AnteUpMagazine.com.